Hey, my name is Ed Kenneth, and this is my final project for our subject and data structure. My problem is problem number 12. Problem number 12 is about creating a grocery store system which has two users, the clerk and the customer. So here I have in my solution I have created 6 different classes which has its own purpose in order to make the program work or function. So in the first class that I created is the class item. This class is responsible for creating or processing the data of the item name, the item price, and the item quantity. And here I have a constructor, and here I have methods which will be used or will be further explained in the next sections of the video. So here I used a setters and getters method for the item name, item price, and item quantity. So that's all for the item class. Next one will be the node class. We'll see I used to declare the nodes next and previous. I also call the item class here with its data and sets the item data to the node. Next one will be the store manipulator class. This store manipulator class is responsible for mostly what the clerk user can do, which will be further explained here. So we have public node head and tail, declaring variables and the nodes, constructors and constructor. In here is empty method, which is to check if the list is empty. Here we have a default menu item method. Now what this does is it adds 3 default items on the list already, which is the cookies, the bread, and the milk. Also has its own price, and also it has its own quantity. Next one will be an add item. So when you want to add an item on the list or in the store, this method is responsible for it. It adds an item to the head node. Here we have an add head method, which is mostly used here on adding the items to the head. You can see here again. Next one will be find item, which is used to find the current item of the which is used to find an item on the list. Next one will be show items. This method is responsible for showing the available items on the list, which you can see here. We're calling the getters of the price of the name, item name, item price, and item quantity. Next one will be remove head and remove the tail. These methods are used to remove the head and the tail, which will be used in this delete item method. So the delete item method is responsible for deleting the selected item that you want to delete. Next one would be the modify price. Modify price is used to modify the selected item. When you want to change the price of a selected item, this method is responsible for it. Modify quantity has also the same functions of the modify price, but what it does is it modifies the item's quantity. Next one will be the clerk. So as I stated before, the clerk's functions can be found in the store manipulator. Here we have the options of the clerk. That is the add item, the remove item, show items, change items price, and change item quantity. Also can see here I instantiated the store manipulator class. Here we have a method to display the functions or the other methods that can be found in the store manipulator class. Next one would be the customer. So a customer has different options. There's an add item to the cart, and check out the receipt, and accept user. So here you can see that I have created an array list with a name cart. So what the array list does is it when you buy something, when you add something, it doesn't directly buy the item. It adds the items on the list, on the array list, or in the cart. Here is a perform user action you use to call the different methods, add to cart, buy items, and exit. Next one is the next method would be add to cart. Add to cart is responsible for adding items on the cart. When you want to buy, it asks for the item's name, and after it has few conditions. If the item's stock is 0, it's out of stock. If you enter a quantity that is greater than the stocks, this is stocks, and if it's not, it adds the item on the cart. Here we have the buy item method. It's the when you check out the items that you bought, it displays the item name of the item that you bought, how many quantities you bought, and the price of each items, and the total price of all of the items that you bought, or the total price of each item's quantity and item price. I also use the string formatting here in order to fix the format of the text of the strings. And here I have the printing of the items that you bought. Also use the formatting and calling the getters and setters. And here I also have the calculating the total which of the items, which is get quantity of each item's quantity and multiply it by the item's price. And here we can see to print the total amount that you need to pay. Enter your cash. I also have a condition here that if you enter the cash that is lesser than the total amount that you need to pay, and it prompts or prints that entered cash is not enough. Next one, you enter cash again. If not, you proceed to the where it prints out the total change when you enter the money. So the cash that you paid versus the total amount that's paid. That's all, and here's what when you update the item, which will be explained here. So what the update item does is it updates the current stocks of the item, current status of the item. Let's say when you buy 5 cookies and store's quantity of cookies before was 10. So after buying 5 cookies, the store's quantity of the cookies is now 5. Next one will be compute total, used to compute the total price of all the items that you added on your cart. And last but not the least would be the store main, responsible for calling all the options that you need to do. It is calling the customer class and the clerk class. I also have here instantiated the different classes: the store manipulator, the clerk, and the customer. So let's try running the program. So here, let's add enter as user first. We want to buy an item, so let's add an item to the cart. We enter 1. So here you can see 3 different items, which I have stated before that I already added 3 default items on the list, which is the milk, the bread, and the cookies. Let's say we want to buy bread. We want to buy 20 breads. And it asks here, press any number to continue or enter 5 nines to exit. We want to continue and add another item on our cart. As you can see here, as you notice, the bread's quantity before was 40, but after adding 20 buying or adding 20 breads on the list, the previous quantity of the bread has been subtracted by how many the items that you bought or added to the cart. We want to buy cookies, 5 cookies. We want to exit the program. We enter 9 fives, 5 nines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that, we go back to the customer menu, and we want to check out and print the receipt. We enter 2. Here we can see the total the items that we bought or added to the cart. We bought 20 breads, and the items of each bread the price of each bread is 5, and the total amount of 20 breads is 100 pesos. Next one would be the cookies. We bought 5 cookies, and the price of each cookie is 15, and total amount of 5 cookies is 75. And you can see the total amount of all items that we bought is 175 pesos. And if we enter a cash that is lesser than the total amount, we encounter a problem that the encountered cash is not enough. If we enter the correct amount or amount that is greater than the total amount, we can see here that it prints out the change and prints out the thing pricing. Let's say we want to go to the clerk menu now. In the clerk menu, you have a lot of options, which is adding an item to the list, removing an item on the list, showing all the items available, and for changing the item's price and changing the item's quantity. Let's say we want to show the items. Here we have the milk, the bread, and cookies. All of the items that we bought before has been subtracted. So now the bread's quantity is 20 and the cookies is 15. Let's say we want to add an item. We want to add item water. The price 15. Let's say there's 8 waters. If we show again, you can see here that the water is added on the list already, and it's on the head with its own price and own quantity. Let's say we want to remove an item on the list. We want to delete bread. It says the item is successfully deleted. If we want to show the item again, you can see here that the bread is removed or deleted from the list. Let's say we want to change the item's price. We enter 4. We want to change the price of the cookies. If we enter a new price, the cookies price will be now 8. If you show again here, we can see that the cookies price is now 8, which price before was 15 pesos. And the last function would be changing the quantity of the item, selected item. Let's say we want to change the quantity. We want to change the quantity of the cookies. We want to add 15. We want to add 5 to return it to its default, or add 5 stocks. We add here 20. If we show again here, we can see that the cookies quantity is now 20. And that's all for my program and the grocery store program. Thank you.